Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to go over some of the process of making my helmet. I actually recorded this last year. I just haven't had a whole lot of time to put all the video clips together and upload it to YouTube. So hopefully in the coming weeks to months I'll have a few episodes of the progress, just kind of keep everybody updated. I am still working on this. Initially I was using monster clay, the medium hardness, and I just put that over the whole head, kind of measured out the distances that I wanted away from my face, and I ended up making this kind of smooth helmet. Then I started carving out some of the details on the back. As you can see here, I have kind of the lower neck and head. I started kind of putting the shape that I was looking for on the face and the ears. But as you can see, it's very crooked. I'm not the best sculptor. This is kind of the first time I was using clay. Yeah, I just really didn't like the design. I didn't think the clay could really get the details I was looking for as well. So I just really hated it. I really want to work on this. It's been a dream of mine to make my own custom helmet ever since I was little. So I wanted to do things right, kind of draw out some of the ideas I had for it. As you can see here in this picture, I have some ideas for the lock mechanism and the helmet design. So yeah, I just wanted to start over from scratch, and my idea was that I would start from the individual pieces and work my way back up. So I got this little cutting mat from the hobby store and some of this hobby wood that I found also at the hobby store, and it just happened to be the right size for my LEDs. It was 1 inch by 24 inch balsa wood and 1/16 by 1/8 also balsa wood, real soft material. Like I mentioned, I've always wanted to make my own helmet. I think I'm just rushing it a little bit. So the first thing I wanted to start with was my eyes for the helmet. Just the LED receptacles. I was thinking that the LEDs could be separate from the visor, and what I mean is the visor on the front of the helmet would have cutouts. That's where these LEDs would be, just so the LEDs don't diffuse light into the visor where it would make it difficult for me to see, especially when it's dark outside. That's why I just wanted to start with the LED eyes. And here I'm just putting some of the pieces together, and here's the LED, and just kind of testing out the tolerance. I want it pretty flush because my idea for the helmet was that it would be waterproof. I could wear it outside on rainy days, and there would be no leaks inside. Don't have to worry about anything like that. The switches I got for the circuit is also all waterproof, just for that reason. I want something a little more practical instead of just some sort of cosplay helmet. I want this helmet to work, be functional, have ventilation, maybe enough space for maybe like a antenna and maybe some sort of radio inside that I can tune into. So here I have the 3 sides complete for the LED receptacle, and it's pretty flushed. And initially I was thinking that I could slide the LEDs into the receptacle, but if I wanted it truly watertight, I realized that I would have to enclose the LED inside the receptacle. So I ended up cutting some little additional pieces for the back of the LED that I'll show here in a little bit later in the video. And then this piece right here is the upper cover for the LEDs, kind of the eye shape, kind of like this angled shape that I would have on each side of my helmet. So I would have two upper larger LEDs and then two lower LEDs. I ended up making two receptacles for the LEDs just because the first one was bowing out just a little bit. So as you can see here, this was my initial idea, just have something that I could slide in the LEDs, but to make it really watertight, I made these little keys that goes on the back end of the LED. And make sure it just sits flush. And that's the one side. And here, both sides are installed. And the LED is in there nice and snug. Here is the cover piece. I cut out two pieces, one for the left, one for the right. The reason why I cut out two is because here in a little bit I'll put a little drop down piece on the front of this cover. The reason being I wanted to make sure there was more surface area to glue, just so it's not this real thin perimeter, about 1/16 of an inch. I could have a little bit more secured cover plate by gluing the front and the back, and then gluing the sides. So here is the smaller LEDs, just using a box knife to cut it kind of flush with the LED. Don't want moisture to get in for the final product. So here I'm just sanding it down, making sure it's nice and flushed. So here's all the pieces. Here is the small LED. The same build as the larger one, just having that little keyway at the back end so it's nice and secured, hopefully waterproofed. But in the later videos you'll see I actually ended up not going with this design. I did change it up just because I didn't really like how the LEDs looked on the helmet itself. I may just have had used the big LEDs in the wrong spot. Maybe I should have used all four smaller LEDs. It just looked a little too weird with the angle that I was looking for. So here is the LED on, just to kind of visualize what it would look like once it's installed on the helmet. So looking pretty good. I was happy with it. Just had to spray paint it with primer and kind of sand it down again just so it's smooth enough. It doesn't have to be perfect, since once it's installed on the visor you're really only going to see about a 1/16 of an inch or so out from the perimeter of the LED. So here was the finished product, looking pretty good. So in the next episode, I'll go over some of the battery pack and kind of the power on switch button on the back of the head. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.